Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Srikanth sir. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present the detailed presentation on this SCMTR regulation. And it was a really nice concept to put this regulation in this 5W1H concept. So it is very important to understand what is there for me as a forwarder or consolidator, what is there for me as a NUSCC. So as you discussed just now that from tomorrow onwards, it is going to be in effect. So, this is how we have put it from our presentation point of view, that we will first go through the brief on the SCMT regulation, and then after that followed by the flow of documents. What are the documents in imports and exports? After that, the CSN submission. Now, what is the CSN? What are the other terminologies which trade need to understand without getting confused with multiple
Swapnil, I will just
terminologies?
interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
Please try to be more louder. Hold your
Yeah.
mic in front of your this, so your voice will be more clear.
Okay. Is it audible now, sir?
Yeah, it's audible now.
Yeah. So I was explaining that we will go with this flow, that brief on the SCMTR, and after that the flow of documents, followed by the CSN submission. Now, what is the CSN and what are the other terminologies in this SCMTR? We will take you through the next presentation in detail. Uh, After that, the recommended field which are required under the SCMTR we will take you through, and the CSN submission process by ODeX. So just to before start, I would like to tell the audience that being a forwarder or consolidator is the generation of CSN. CSN is the cargo summary notification. You might have heard this term very frequently in last few days. So this is why it is important to understand that generation of CSN and submission of the CSN, these are the two important factors which we need to understand from the consolidator point of view, from the forwarder point of view. Rest of the terminologies, say for example SAM, SDM, which Shrikant sir have already explained, that is something will be taken care by the respective entities. So now starting with the presentation, I would like to tell you that what is basic or the most important difference in the existing IGM and this new SCMTR regulation. So you must be aware that in existing IGM or the EGM, the manifest has to be filed in case of import once the vessel arrives into the Indian territory. But as per the new SCMTR regulation, you can see on the screen that liners or the vessel operator has to submit the import manifest in case of import prior vessel depart from last foreign port of call. So this is a very major change and very important thing to be considered, that the timeline has now shifted and this manifest has to be filed before the vessel sails on the last foreign port of call. Similarly for export. Okay. Now what is there? Because in going forward, the IGM terminology will be now replaced with the word sea arrival manifest, as Srikanth sir already explained that IGM will be now termed as a SAM, and Export General Manifest (EGM) will be now termed as a Sea Departure Manifest. So under this Sea Arrival Manifest and the Sea Departure Manifest, what are the flow of other documents and what are the role of other entities, which the sir have explained. I will take you through a brief flow of the documents also, starting with the import. So suppose, for example, if vessel is arriving from the foreign port of call, so before departure from the last foreign port of call, these are the three things which we need to consider. Especially the first thing was this CSN, the cargo summary notification, which is a declaration of house information by freight forwarder or consolidator. Now this is something which need to identify the forwarder or consolidator. This is my work. What is my role? That my role is to generate the CSN and submit it to the respective line after uploading it on the IceGate. Now, what is the role of vessel operator? As Srikanth sir already explained, that their role is to file the final manifest, which is termed as a sea arrival manifest. There is also an important aspect in this, that sea arrival amendment, because it can be filed without approval till the filing of entry invoice. Now, what is entry invoice? You can see on arrival at Indian port of call, vessel operator has to file the sea entry invoice. So you have a window to amend the details till the time sea entry invoice is filed. Otherwise, there will be a penalty. Okay. Similarly, for export flow of documents, if you can see on the export slide now, before departure from the Indian port, these are the details. CSN is common. Now this C departure manifest, which I was referring, that export general manifest will be now replaced with the C departure manifest filed by the vessel operator, and there will be a C departure amendment can be filed without approval till filing of C departure notification, and which will be filed once the once after departure from the Indian port. Okay, so that C departure notification, you have the window till the filing of C departure notification for the case of amendments. Now these are the complete flow of documents from the import as well as from the export point of view. Now what is the hierarchy, where exactly my organization will be placed and what will be my role to do in the SCMTR, that will be more explained in the next slide. So we have put up this slide just to make you understand that this is how you will be placed in this current hierarchy. Now CSN or the cargo summary notification submission to the ICE gate by freight forwarder and consolidator can be explained in this slide. For example, I will take an example. For example, a shipping line called MSC has issued one MBL to the freight forwarder consolidator, and that freight forwarder consolidator has issued multiple houses against that MBL to the final consignee. Now, what is the role of forwarder consolidator? That he has house BL1 against that MBL and house BL2 against that MBL. What he needs to do is that he needs to provide details of house BL1 and house BL2 against that MBL. He will receive the CSN1 and he has to submit that CSN1 back to the shipping line. So this is what is the role is. You just need to focus on that my activity or my area, if I'm a forwarder or consolidator, that I need to generate the CSN and I need to submit the CSN. So these are the two important aspects which we need to take care under this SCMTR. Okay, this slide will be more explained whenever we will go through the actual fields. What are the actual fields under SCMTR regulation which you need to consider? I will show you in the next slides. So these are certain important fields which are recommended under SCMTR. Okay, these are the fields which is not mandatory in the current manifest, which is IGM, but under SCMTR it is recommended that these fields information has to be there. For example, number of package, container number and size, seal number. Especially very important is IEC or PAN number if the entity is an Indian company. Okay, then HSN code, invoice value. So these are the recommended fields. Now what we have done in the system, that we have categorized all this field under a respective header, so that the user should not get confused. Okay, when to file, what information need to be filed under which section. I will show you on the actual screen after this slide, after the one single process flow, which I will explain in the next slide. So this is what is I was talking about, that generation of the CSN and the submission of the CSN are the two important factors to be considered. So ODeX system, talking about from the ODeX system point of view, we have put it in a very simple manner. We have kept it very simple, that we have given you this facility in a single screen. So on a single screen, you will able to generate the CSN, and from the same screen itself, you will able to submit the CSN also. Okay, so starting from the first step in this submission process is generation of CSN. So nothing has to do. Very simple. A user will come into the ODeX, he will log in, he will enter all the details of house bill against an MBL. At the bottom of the screen, once he enters all the details, he will be allowed to he will be given an option to generate CSN by clicking a button called generate CSN. The CSN will get generated as per the IceGate format, which is a JSON format, and it will get downloaded on the same screen itself. What he needs to do next, as you can see on the screen, the CSN submission to custom. Whatever the file which is generated as per the format, he has to just put the digital signatures to it, and he has to log into the IceGate under SCMTR, and he need to upload that file onto the IceGate. This is the second step. Now, what is the next step and the last step? As soon as he receives the acknowledgement from the IceGate, the acknowledgement number, that acknowledgement number or the CSN number has to be sent it back to the shipping line. Now, this is most crucial part, because the submission of CSN number to the shipping line what we have done, we are the exclusive platform which has the facility to submit this CSN number back to the shipping line from the same screen itself. So you don't need to scroll multiple screens. Okay, how exactly this, what are the fields as I was referring to, how exactly these things or fields will be entered. Next slide, I will take you through a very quick run through from the entire process. So as I was explaining you, very simple, user will log into the ODeX, he will put the login credentials, he will click on sign in. As you can see on the screen, he will click on sign in. As soon as you click on sign in, what we have done, he need to go to this eHBL model. Now it is very important thing to consider over here that this HBL model is mostly used by most of the companies. Currently also they are using for filing the house bill details. So we have not given you any completely new model. We have kept it in the same model with the differentiating field identification mark. Okay, so what are these identification mark? I will show you. As soon as you click on the HBL model, you need to go to that HBL request. As soon as you click on HBL request, you need to click over here on the top right, green color button. This will allow you to put the details on the single. We have split this screen into three parts because of the space constraint on the PowerPoint, but on the actual login, you will find it on the single screen. So this is the screen starting from the first part of MBL detail. Okay, this is the screen which I was referring to. Now I don't know, I think you can see that some of the fields are highlighted in a light green color. Now this is what is I am talking to, that these are the fields which are required from the SCMTR point of view, or which are recommended from the SCMTR point of view. The light green color fields are the required or recommended by the SCMTR point of view. Now in MBL details, some of the fields are already there for the manifestation purpose in the existing manifestation process, and the light green color fields are from the SCMTR point of view. After this MBL details, itinerary details is also required under SCMTR. Now, what is itinerary details? Itinerary details are basically a details to capture your cargo movement. Okay, understand that you need to also monitor the cargo movement from one point to another point with the mode of transport information on there. So all this information has to be captured in the SCMTR. Now under this MBL, if you have, as I was saying, that MBL details, you have an option of multiple HBL. So now this screen, if I can able to view the screens, under this MBL, we have an option for adding multiple HBL by clicking a button called Add HBL. Now, what is this? You can, on this screen, you will find a lot of data entry. But these are the same data fields in consigner details, in consignee details, and in notified details, notified party details. Now, what is most important thing to be considered over here? That if, as per SCMTR, if the entity is an Indian company, in case of consigner details, if the exporter or consigner is Indian company, and in case of import, if the consignee or the importing party is an Indian company, then that company's IC or PAN number is mandatory. So you need to have the IC or PAN number if the company is an Indian entity. Okay. Similarly for notify party and invoicing instruction. Now, what is there, that if you can see on the bottom right on the screen, we have kept it the invoice value and currency option to enter. So we have given all the fields as you can see, the light green color fields are also available over here. That these are the certain fields are, and as per the SCMTR regulation. So we have given you the provision to enter all the data on on the single screen itself. Going forward, as I was talking on the SCMTR recommended fields, this is something which is very important, because this was not capturing, or this is not capturing, if I'm not wrong, in the current manifestation IGM filing, which is the item level details and the container level details with the mandatory fields called as container, HSN code, cargo item description, number of packages, type of packages, and in container details, container number, ISO code, cargo weight. Okay, so these are certain fields which is not required in the existing item, but in the SCMTR, this item level and the container level details is recommended, and we have given you the provision to enter over here. Now, once you file all these details, at the bottom of the screen, as I was referring in my process flow discussion, we have given you a button called generate CSN, which is highlighted in yellow color now. If you can see yellow mark, this option will give you to generate all the field data into the JSON format or the IceGate format which is required. And at the bottom left, if you can see, that file will get generated. Now what will happen, this is the JSON file. You will, if you click on that file, whenever you have the actual data entry, if you click on that file, that is a JSON format. And now this file has to be digitally signed before uploading onto the IceGate. So this is something which is very important. As soon as you upload the ready-made file, okay, your work is done, nothing else. You will get the acknowledgement number, and that acknowledgement number, we have a provision to update the CSN number on the MBL level details in order to send it back to the shipping line. And very important thing, you need not to do any manual email in that case, because we have the auto email notification facility. So all the data exchange, if you are anything is happening through ODeX system, we have given you an email notification facility automatically. So you don't need to monitor your emails as well. So this is something which I wanted to take you through from the presentation and from the screen point of view. As I said, we as a forwarder or consolidator being the most prominent